Start streaming again. Let's see what happens now.
Stop the stream. Start the stream.
Turn it off and on. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Don't cross the streams.
Stop the stream. Start the theme tune. Sing the theme tune.
Yeah, this is
spooky.
Yeah, we're live now. We're live now.
Are we?
Spooky
still
show
fit.
About spooky things.
Oh, here we go. Oh no, here we go.
Here we go. We're live. We're live. Yeah.
Oh,
I thought I'd set everything up beforehand, but I set it up and then I deleted it. And then I set it up again because I was thinking of doing Rumble. I was thinking of doing Rumble, and then I changed my mind, and then I went back to doing it separate the way I normally do it.
So
Rumble in the jungle.
Yeah,
we've had no theme tune tonight, though. So
nope. The bonus content is all on Rumble. Bonus exclusive theme tune.
Yep. You'll never hear it again.
Yeah.
Interestingly, we don't log off with a theme tune, do we? We don't finish with the theme tune.
No.
There has been times when I said, "Oh, let's play this as the outro."
Sometimes we play in the music. I don't know. It just means you got to sit around in silence for while the thing. But
it's not the same, is it? It's like it's good to have a different theme tune to go out to, like on Only Fools and Horses, isn't it? They have that no income tax thing.
God bless Bookie Street.
Yeah. Hookie Street is the
is it Bookie Street or Hookie Street? Sometimes it sounds like Bookie Street.
I don't know.
Sometimes it sounds like Hookie Street.
Something about David Bowie LPs.
Yeah.
Mark Price TVs. Bush.
Now, was that Nick? Who sang the Only Fools and Horses? Who sang the Only Fools and Horses?
It was John Sullivan. I thought it was Nicholas Lyndhurst. It wasn't. He wanted Chaz and Dave to do it. They didn't because the BBC wouldn't pay them. Then when the show got popular, the BBC said, "Oh, go on then. Have Chaz and Dave sing for you." So that's when Chaz and Dave composed Down the Margate, which was...
Down the Margate.
That's not Only Fools and Horses theme.
No, it's not. But they composed Down the Margate for a special Fools and Horses.
For when they go down to Margate.
It's God bless Hookie Street. I've just looked up the lyrics. Stick a pony in your pocket. I'll fetch a suitcase from the van. I got all the lyrics.
If you don't ask questions, then brother, I'm your man.
Who's it sung by?
Because where it all comes from is a mystery. It's like the changing of the seasons and the tides of the sea. There you go.
But if you don't ask questions, brother, it's... Oh, fuck. Now I've forgotten the rest of it, but it's okay. Yeah, we'll sing...
Google it. They're on the internet, Hobbit.
We'll sing the Only Fools and Horses as the outro. Let's do that. Chat.
We might get copyrighted for that, though.
Yes,
no, because
my karaoke is that good.
Yeah.
Chat, if you remind me, I will sing us out on...
Sing it in the club style, couldn't we?
Yeah.
No, fuck you.
Okay, do a Hobbit. You can do the club style.
Vic Reeves is not funny.
Vic Reeves is so funny. Watch Rogue's Gallery was an excellent TV series.
You know, there's people that say, "Oh, I really like Michael McIntyre and Peter Kay and Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer. They're not fucking funny."
Peter Kay's act was funny the first time he did it back in 1992.
It's never been funny.
Oh, well, he did a joke that was funny once.
You were watching something else.
His like, have you noticed something happens? Have you noticed when something happens? I will tell you the one...
Hey, do you remember telly when you were a kid, Hobbit? Do you remember TV when you were a kid? Do you remember the TV shows that were on?
Remember your things.
Do you remember when the TV shows, they'd be on one channel and then the TV shows, they'd be on another channel?
You know the TV shows? Do you remember the TV shows? You know the TV shows?
You know when the TV shows...
The clothes we used to wear.
You remember the TV shows? They would do the credits and the presenters, the TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about cars we used to drive?
I will tell you...
Now,
do you remember your nan? Do you remember your nan?
Right.
You know, the nans with their blue hair and their
garlic bread. Garlic bread. What were all that about?
Ian and Hemi, I hope you're sat down because I'm going to tell you the one observational comedy joke that Peter Kay did that was funny. He's on stand-up, right, and he's talking about, have you noticed that the older your mum and dad gets, like the brighter lights need to be? Like, you give them a letter in newspaper, it's like, can you turn the light? Oh, it's not bright enough. It's like, and then he pointed to one of the stage directors, says, can you turn that 20 kilowatt spotlight on? He says, Yeah, that's right. Just bring it on this bit of paper. Can you focus it on the paper? And then they actually used the lens to change the aperture. So it was just on the paper.
Have you seen that thing about
put it like 6 inches from his face? Oh yeah, that's good. I can read that.
We're hanging there. I think we're all right.
You seen that bloke on
for a little bit.
You seen that bloke on TikTok, the one who says about his ADHD girlfriend and she doesn't like the big light on? I don't know anything about this big light phenomena. But basically, their house has to be lit by lamps, candles, anything except for the main light in any room.
4 candles.
4 candles.
By 4 candles.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. However, I did see one, which was I go onto autism TikTok because I'm special needs, and it was showing me. It was showing me the prior to the UK sockets, we had these round pinned ones, and it was based on the spacing of the pins, where it's 5, 15, or 30 amps. And if you ever worked lighting
you still get them places, don't you? You can still get them in a number of places.
At Wix and Screwfix and Toolstation. Now, here's the thing, right? Those 5 amp sockets, they're still available, and legally, I say legally, the IEEE wiring regs, you can take the wires from your lighting circuit, bring them down to one of these 5 amp sockets, and then you can use the plugs in them to plug in lamps or anything else that runs on 5 volts.
Yeah, it's kind of a safety feature as well, isn't it? Like, because you've got a 5 amp
socket.
Sorry,
not 5 volts. 5 amps, which is 240 volts at 5 amps. So that's like, well, you can deliver 1.2 kilowatts with 5 amps. That's actually a lot of power. But anyway, point being is then you turn the light switch on for your room, and then anything that's plugged into these 5 amp sockets, they turn on. So if you want a lot of lamps, and let's face it, with LED bulbs, you could very brightly illuminate a room for 50 watts or less.
Right, are we going to talk about remote viewing, Hobbit?
Well, I think we could remote viewing about the wattage and power.
I thought we'd start off with, what's the first place you think of when you want to know anything, about any subject at all, Hobbit?
Oh, I know. It's the CIA reading room.
What about Reddit?
Oh yeah, okay. Let's do Reddit then.
Yeah, let's do Reddit, because Reddit's the last place you'd ever go to get any knowledge. So that's why I thought it'd be funny to do it.
It's in the last place you'd expect to find anything factual or informative. Reddit.
Actually, fucking hell. Have you read this Reddit page of it?
I try not to, but go on.
You have a read of it. I can't. It's awful. It's written really badly, and it doesn't scan very well. I'm trying to skim it for something interesting. I'm trying to skim it for something interesting, and it's not working.
Wait, are you trying to tell me now that people that have bits missing from their brains aren't very good at writing or conversation?
They are, but like a beginner's guide to remote viewing. Whether new to the topic, blah blah blah.
Why is there Pokemon and Uri Geller in this?
Because we might talk about. I think we're going to try and hold off talking about Uri Geller because he deserves his own episode.
We can cover a little bit in this, but it is related.
So I'm looking at the last thing that was posted by me, which was about the alien mummies with implants in their fossils.
I'll put it in again. Maybe I didn't put Reddit in. There you go. There's Reddit. It's at the bottom now.
Then Batocera Linux, which I'm not going to use. I mean, I'm not interested in playing
that was me. That was me because I wanted to go to it, and I don't know. I can't remember what I was doing, but I had to do that as a bookmark. Go.
So this is r/remote viewing.
r/.
Okay, read all of this then. Welcome to our beginner's guide to remote viewing. Whether new to the topic or looking to brush up on the basics, this guide is for you.
Is that?
Please note,
do you remember Tiffany Dell, the racing driver who used to be on Top Gear? You sound like Tiffany Dell. You really remind of it.
I know Quentin Wilson, was it? I do know him. He was on Fifth Gear as well afterwards, that spin-off show on the other side. Please note, we intend this as an introduction rather than a definitive resource. There is much more to learn and explore beyond the information presented here. but we hope this will provide a good starting point. Throughout this guide, you will find additional resources on the topics covered. We encourage you to use these resources to continue learning and delve.
Caution! Remote viewing is a mental skill and it's not advisable for individuals with a recent or current mental health problems to practice it. So what are you putting on Reddit for then?
And delve deeper into remote viewing. In the following pages, we will cover the fundamental concepts you need to get started with remote viewing and perform an introductory session. By the end, you will understand the remote viewing protocol and basic terminology and have completed your first session.
Oh, look at it. Look, just words. Like, not entertaining in the least. They're not attempting at all to put any knowledge from their brain into yours, are they?
Right. So, a man that's not me said brevity is the essence of wit, and this is why you'll find the opposite of that on Wikipedia, Reddit.
Should we go to something a bit more interesting instead? So this
what is remote viewing? I'll just read this bit here, and then we can just say, well, look, the summary, and then the rest of this I'm not reading. Yeah. What is remote viewing? The International Remote Viewing Association defines remote viewing as remote viewing is the mental faculty that allows a perceiver, a viewer, to hang on, I have to do this in American. Parentheses, a viewer, close parentheses, to describe or give details about a target that is inaccessible to normal senses due to distance, time, or shielding. For example, a viewer might be asked to describe a location on the other side of the world, which he or she has never visited, or a viewer might describe an event that happened long ago, or describe an object sealed in a container and locked in a room, or perhaps even describe a person or an activity, all without being told anything about the target, not even its name or designation. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see things which you shouldn't be able to see, and so how do you give someone the target then? Oh, target ID. To maintain the viewer's blindness to the target, still being able to identify it, viewers use a target ID, also known as target coordinate, target reference number, or tag. The code is unrelated to the target itself and is typically a string of randomly generated numbers. Think of the target ID as target's address or phone. So literally, it's a prop. You could show someone a pack of playing cards and draw a card out and say, well, this card is associated with the target I want you to view. And then if the target starts saying...
It kind of depends on how heavy you want to get, because it can get really heavy when they go, like, there's a base in northern Siberia, we want you to go there and go and tell us what's in there.
I was going to use an example of, well, it's bleak, there's a lot of roundabouts around, there's boulevards with trees, the weather is cold, there seems to be nobody using the pavements, and then... Yeah. It's the viewer describing the target of Milton Keynes, or having never visited Milton Keynes. I have visited Milton Keynes, so unfortunately,
Hobbit, do you want a rare opportunity to develop your natural psychic ability to collect information on anything, anywhere, at any time, Hobbit?
Boy, howdy! How much is it going to cost?
I can do it to you for the low price of $2,595, 5 days and 6 nights. Do you want to buy it now? And the button's all ready for you to go.
Well, that sounds like a really good offer.
Well, Joe and his team of highly skilled trainers guide you on an experimental journey into the fascinating world of remote viewing. In just 6 days, you'll learn to develop your natural or innate ability.
What's the difference between his trainers and the ones I'm wearing? I got these from ShoeZone for 14 quid.
Well, you use the tools of the pros. You'll be introduced to scientifically tested perceptual tools and techniques used by Joe and other professional remote viewers. You'll also hear the history, protocols, and success stories of sponsored remote viewing programs like Stargate.
Am I going to get bummed in this? Is this going to involve like a bit where I need to go to like the Amazon and whilst I'm unconscious...
You can focus your mind using HemiSync registered trademark. While your success as a remote viewer is strongly tied to psychic ability...
You never said you were going to advertise your new product. Tell us more about HemiSync.
Hemisync audio technology aids your learning process by helping you focus.
Are you going to do a bit when I'm trying to study? It's in black and white. I can't concentrate.
There you are. You try the old-fashioned way, reading a Uri Geller book, trying to learn desperately, but all you need is just Hemisync.
And the Hemisync, it's bright colours. You know, you got your lamp with the.
And now here's new Hemisync.
I really just want to talk about the BS 1394 standard now. But
Alphabet Cat Ian wants to clear this up for you. He says remote viewing means you can change the channel on the TV with the power of your mind, Ian.
Yeah,
it's possible, isn't it?
So I'd also like you to know that perceive the. What else is there? Go beyond the boundaries of time and space. Transform your beliefs. Perceive the unseen. Yeah. So this popular program fills quickly. To hold a spot, make your reservation early.
Guys, I have good news for everybody here. There is the Plug Socket Museum, and it's a Dutch website, but they talk about the history of the greatest plugs in the world, the British one.
Have a listen to this.
Yes. I heard something for a split second.
Oh, can you not hear it now?
No, it was just like there was a split second of something, and that was it.
Well, that should be playing through. Fucking thing. Well, I'm playing Monroe's audio technology.
Oh, okay. That's nice to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that was good.
Yeah.
So
let's have a look. I've just downloaded it.
Tech issues again.
Yeah. Hold on. Can you hear it now?
We should remote view it.
I'm just going to remote view this thing.
Oh, it doesn't want to play it. Item is missing or we can't get to. Oh, no, it's because you ain't downloaded.
What about thinking photographs? Thinking so it takes a picture of your thought.
Oh, you get semi-private rooms. I don't know what that means.
Get a semi.
Yeah, you get a semi. You get free Wi-Fi, daily meals, shuttle service, swimming, and massage as well. You get an oily wank.
Sounds all right. By a Thai lady.
Yeah.
A happy ending.
Here we go, Hobbit.
Release any tensions or strain points. Move into whatever position is best for you.
I am American. Beep, boop, beep. I am American.
Is that it?
Ooh.
Yeah, I guess it was.
How much does
Notice
that cost?
It is also steady, even, without fluctuation.
Fluctuations fuck you British too. Do you remember that joke?
No. Was it one of Peter Kay's?
I don't know, probably not. I think it's probably, I don't know, probably one of Bernard Manning's.
Did you know there was a company called Midland Electric, and they did it looks like a British plug, but instead of the rectangular earth pin, it's got a round earth pin. Clean earth socket.
Ooh.
Is it a 3-pin?
It's a 3-pin, yeah. So it's got standard live and neutral rectangular pins, and they're the same spacing as the British BS. Oh, I can't remember the numbers. Doesn't matter. Point is, it's something called a clean earth socket. I'm going to remote view into differences in plugs because this could be useful.
You can use a 2-pin if you jam a screwdriver into the middle hole, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is how it will benefit remote viewers, right? A clean earth socket has 2 separate and isolated earth connections. One which goes to the earth pin R contacts of the sockets, and the other which goes to the fixing screws. The connection to the earth pin contact should run via a separate cable back to the earth reference bar, also known as an ERB. And if you use an earth reference bar, it can improve your remote viewing things. Because you see, you don't want to be interfered with like RFI and dirty earth signals, because then you won't be able to do the remote viewing so well.
During the Cold War years, the USA and Soviet Union are known to have been spying on each other using the services of psychic remote viewers. With this specific objective. What's that?
Wow, just like all the sort of witchcraft that goes on in like not even before the Cold War. Like, did you remember in World War II there was this thing like Winston Churchill, who was a druid, had this army of witches like wishing migraines and piles upon Hitler.
Well, he had bad guts, didn't he?
Yeah,
And he only had one ball. He had one ball as well.
Did you know? Did you know the witches also defeated Donald Trump? So that's why he isn't president of the United States.
And Yuri Geller stopped to Brexit. So you know, all of this stuff has happened. But here's the thing: maybe Hitler's bad. No, I'm going to do a Stuart Lee Snopes thing here, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the bad guts Hitler suffered was because apparently he liked to go on meth binges where all he would eat was Danish pastries. And I don't know about the meth, but I do know that if I was to eat like more than 4 Danish pastries in one sitting, I'm going to have indigestion.
Well, it wasn't that. No, it was because he was a vegetarian. That's why he had fucking bad guts, wasn't it?
And also, and he did used to do bad. He used to do bad farts as well, which was a fact. Drop his guts quite severely, and fucking.
Sometimes he'd go to the Ausfahrt.
Yeah. Drop a depth charge.
That's a funny German joke.
I don't know.
They're out Ausfarting all the time. You see them Germans.
Das Vater.
In simple terms, remote viewing is the ability of human participants to acquire information about spatially and temporally remote geographical targets, otherwise inaccessible by any known sensory means.
Thomas got a good question, actually. What was remote viewing? I think the answer... Gaza will probably know the answer to that.
Yeah, what is remote viewing? Yeah, that was... It involves Kentucky Fried Chicken, doesn't it?
And some fishing rods.
Yeah.
And a very pissed up England footballer.
There were 2 complementary components. So there was 2 complementary components to the US remote viewing program: a research program on anomalous cognition, which is called AC, directed initially. But why are they having multiple? What do you call it when you have initials? The word's failing me.
An acronym.
Double barrel.
Yeah. Why are we having multiple acronyms with the same letters?
Yeah, because why would you want to have things clear and concise when you can just make a bunch of jargon up?
So, directed initially by physicists Hal Puthoff, real name, and Russell Targ, real name, the laboratories of Stanford Research International (SRI) at Menlo Park, California, which was shifted in 1988 to Science Applications International Corporation (SAIC) under the direction of Edwin May. The findings of their early studies have been reported in prestigious scientific journals during the 1970s. So how come everyone says it's all bollocks then? If this has been so, is that just what the news say? It's all bollocks.
The news is the journalists are a bunch of bollocks. So the
journalists.
It depends what journals as well. Some journals are a bit more out there than others. So may cover these, like the Fortean Times.
Mission-oriented operational assignments overseen by various intelligence agencies of the US government, codenamed Project Stargate. Information regarding this... Yeah. It's got Jeffrey Dean Anderson in it as well. Information regarding this top-secret program was partly declassified by the CIA in July 1995, following the thaw in the Cold War. Since then, several research articles and many books have been published by some of the persons who were closely associated with this program. These authors, however, expressed great regret that they'd not been permitted to reveal much of the sensitive details of the program. The present brief account is based on the published sources of information. So, I suppose you lads can help me out reading this, can't you? I'll show you.
Well, if I knew what the fuck you were reading, what is it? One. Which one read it?
No.
You'll have to remote view it.
Remote viewing.
Remote viewing guide. Yeah.
Oh,
it's about. All right, where are you in there?
Background to remote viewing faculty.
Hey, did you know
the latest one?
2 amp.
That we're on. Hang on a minute.
It's about.
Let's have a look. So
It's about the third paragraph down.
Remote viewing update. I've looked further into round pin plugs. You can get 2 amp round pin plugs as well.
Is this the remote viewing for beginners? A step-by-step guide?
That's the one, yeah.
And that's about the third paragraph down.
Yeah.
There's a hot chick.
No, wrong one.
Remote viewing.
Hold on a second.
Hey, she's hot. Huh?
In Wiki Guide.
Wiki Guide.
Oh, that's coming up on a different page. Hold on, I think this is spazzing out.
Of course, on electric razors, they have the 2-pin plug, don't they? And you have to...
I'll carry on reading. That's obviously not working. It's Remote Viewing Wiki Guide, which is the bit I'm reading. The faculty of remote viewing is popularly known as exsensory perception, ESP for short, a term coined by the pioneering parapsychology researcher J.B. Ryan in 1934. Is J.B. Ryan problematic, Hobbit?
J.B. Ryan? How would that... I don't understand the problem.
I just wondered if he worked for the the guys in the boss suits. Let's see.
Men in Black.
With the lightning logos, you know those fellas. Joseph Banks
the lightning logos.
Oh, he's just an American. That's all right. He was an American botanist who founded parapsychology as a branch of psychology. Hobbit, how'd you get from botany to parapsychology?
What's parapsychology?
They're all ologies, aren't
Parapsychology is studying like ESP, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's para as in extra psychology. It's
paranormal.
Yeah, paranormal. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all pretty good though. It has been done under laboratory conditions. But there's not been any conclusive evidence that it actually does exist. Otherwise, we know about it properly. So it's not a proper branch of science.
Yeah,
we can win.
Because you have people like Hobbit's mate James Randi that just go poo-pooing on everything.
He's no friend of mine.
Killjoy. You used to be mates, though, didn't you?
He'll be mates when he gives me $1 million.
Hey.
He's not giving anyone. Oh no, it's all made up. That's literally what he says to everything, isn't it? Whether it's true or not. So you'll love this.
Right so far.
You'll love this bit anyway.
The second coming of Christ could happen, and he could just save him or damn him, and James Randi would be like, "Wow, I don't believe you."
Yeah. It's obviously Fishwire. That's how you're doing it. Students of Indian yogic law, Hobbit, are however well acquainted with it. Aphorism 3.26. Go on then, Hobbit. What? I know you're dying to comment on this.
I'm I'm so happy we're visiting India again. We're going to remote view the stinkiest place on earth.
He said the Enfield poltergeist was just a girl jumping off a bed.
Yeah.
Do you remember the time when, Israel developed this crowd control spray, which smells like hot sewage and dead corpses, and they tried it in India, and the police and the people they were spraying it on just didn't notice any difference. In fact, some of them remarked it was a noticeable improvement in smell.
Anyway, aphorism 3.26 of Patanjali's classic work, Yoga Sutras. The classic work of it. You remember that one, don't you? The Yoga Sutras.
Oh, Brutus couldn't get enough of the Patra Sutra.
That's from 400 BC. Describes the first of the Ashtasiddhis, like don't blame me, it's nonsense, or psychic powers that a serious practitioner of yoga can acquire as obtaining knowledge of the small, the hidden, or distant by directing the light of superphysical faculty.
I know what happens if you're able to perfect your yoga stuff. Do you know what you can do? This is the yoga superpower they don't tell you about, right?
Yeah.
You ready for this? Right? if you practice yoga to the point where you're a master, you can prolapse your bowels.
Yeah.
Well done. You've
Well,
now
I'm getting
got
back in.
the yoga special power. Well, I didn't say anything about that now, did I? No, the yoga superpower is you can be so stretchy, supple, and relaxed, you can pull out your bowels. Well done.
Nice.
You are now a yoga master.
Is this documented then?
Because I couldn't do that.
Yes.
I couldn't already do that.
Yeah.
Well, again, if you practice lots of yoga, Ian, you too will be able to prolapse your bowels.
I'll be able to have a shit because I haven't been able to do that yet. Everything I've eaten has just stayed in my body.
Now, look, I'm not a proctologist, right? But I think the idea of having your insides on the outsides is generally not a desirable outcome.
Do you know what happened to the constipated accountant?
What piles are?
He worked it out with a pencil.
Oh no! God. That's horrible.
Gross, dude.
Yeah, gross. Ugh,
Yeah,
gross.
Oh, dude, that's gross.
Hey,
yeah.
This is the thing, right? Now I know this guy who likes crack, and he thought one of the height.
Did he work it out with a pencil?
Yes, he did, and he also showed me this film, like Jackass 3, and there's this bit in Jackass 3. Not only that, he made me pay for the movie as well. It was like a video rental, and he said, "Oh, I'll cover you for the next one," which he did, by the way. But anyway, in this scene, there's a bit where there's this fat man, and they're making him wear a plastic suit, and they're collecting all the sweat, and the sweat is like a white gravy, and so they got like half a pint of this collected sweat juice. And Steve-O drinks it, and he vomits. The fat man vomits. Cameraman vomits, and I'm watching it, and I can't smell it, but I can see what they're doing. I come close to vomiting. I turn the television off. Mate, he's just like pissing himself laughing, and he's like, "I'll go on, put it back on." And it's like, nah, and then I unplugged the telly. I was like, "We're good, mate. We're not watching any more telly tonight."
Russell Targ has commented that the techniques used by the US viewers for looking into distance of the future are strikingly similar to the detailed instructions given in the Yoga Sutra.
Actually, can we just do a bit of remote viewing into that? Can we do a remote viewing to see, like, the MTV or other program commissioners' offices back in, 2009, 2007, and just go, right, why are we doing these shows where, like, men are eating dog poo and, like, other men are putting toy cars in their bum holes?
It was more like 2001, because I was seeing a girl at the time, but I found it hilarious. I couldn't stop watching it, and she dumped me because I was into that program.
I preferred Dirty Sanchez. I just prefer like the Welsh lads do.
I was going to say the Welsh one with Dirty Sanchez, and it's like, hey, Pritchard. I seem to remember one of them was called Pritchard. Yeah. Let's use the staple gun and staple your ball bag to this table. Wouldn't that be a right laugh? I believe
Pancho was the one they used to bully. Do you remember the one when they taped dildos to his hands and got him drunk and taped dildos to his hands and he couldn't do anything?
Okay, that does sound funny, but like seriously, like, hey, look, guys, let's do this bit where we staple your ball bag to it. And unfortunately, it must have been on Channel 4 at some point. They decided to go to Japan. They're going like on a tour of Asia.
That's the movie.
Like,
that's the movie when they go to the Far East.
Yeah, and there was like, what can we do in Cambodia? Well, sex tourism we can't put on Channel 4. All right, what can we do in Japan? Sex tourism we can put on Channel 4. Hey, great, we're going to shag some birds. No, we're going to pay this dominatrix to do a poo in your mouth, and then she's going to sit on your face until you swallow it. Well done, Dirty Sanchez. That was
but they also did. Do you remember they did the wrestling where it's got all the broken fucking lighting tubes on the floor?
You see, it's really funny, right? Because they do all this gross shit, and because everybody's having a laugh, it's like, it's technically not pornography, it's just gross shit. So yeah, I'd like to remote view the program commissioners and just see if, like, Antoine de Clunes is there as well, and he's going like, we need some naked Germans in this.
They hung their ball bag into the pocket of a pool table and slammed the pool ball in. full force.
Oh well, that's just normal gentlemanly behaviour, right? I mean,
a lot of ball bag stuff going on in Dirty Sanchez. A bit too much for my liking. I was more Jack.
It was quite funny that time they were doing something with chilies, and he got some in his eye. And he was trying to wash it out, and they were chucking chilies in his hand while he was trying to wash his eye out. Of
course they would. Of course. The only prank I saw to that, which I thought was a bit unusual, is. I think it was in California, because it's one of those places where it's warm enough one could be showering outside. So there's this black man, right? And he's having a shower outside. And then there's this dude who's just like, because like this multi-level, maybe it was a beach, and so he was a promenade above. Yeah, it was just a normal dude. Just a normal dude above him. And like, so every time this black man's like, trying to wash the shampoo out of his hair, he just like squirt more shampoo onto him. And because it's all warm and stuff, I guess he didn't notice compared to the shower. So there's this black guy, and he's getting like increasingly more like ape confused, and just going like, "Ooga booga, I keep washing my hair, but it keeps being foamy and soapy. What's going on?"
Was that Dirty Sanchez? I recall seeing that, but that seems a bit mild.
I know.
I'm not sure it was.
There's literally no nailing of testicles to tables or anything.
Yeah, there's no ball bag involved in that.
It's like, how can I laugh to this? Nobody's having their genitals permanently mutilated.
Shitting in their mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no Japka shitting in the Welshman's mouth.
Yeah,
I've seen that, but I don't think it's Dirty Sanchez. It's something else.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a bunch of Welsh lads, and they're like, "Oh, what can we do in Japan, Pritchard? Oh, this looks like fun. Let's go and meet." I can't do Welsh. Let's go meet this chap bird.
Do you remember when the other one that's not Pritchard had Pritchard tattooed on his penis, and Pritchard got very upset about it?
Okay,
crazy days.
Tattoos are scum, but if you are going to get a tattoo, that's funny.
The early 2000s were good, weren't they? Not like now. It's all
anarchic
shit now. You don't get stuff like that now. It's all fucking
Love Island,
Annies and stuff.
Well, even the tamer stuff,
Drag race.
Things like Bo Selector, and it was literally just, I'm going to bully celebrities every week.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then he became the celebrity, didn't he? That was the problem.
Craig David actually talks about how he'd cry himself to sleep because of his depiction as a northerner with his Kess. I watched Kess like a few years ago. It's like, oh, come on, let's see what all this fuss is about. Fucking shit film. I'd like to remote view into like the thought processes of is it Ken Loach?
Right, can we get on with actual remote viewing now?
I want to remote view into Ken Loach's thought processes. How do I do that?
Well, he's miserable in his
Take
northern.
my bloody belt. It's northern kitchen sink and stuff.
Fucking hate Ken Loach. Stupid film. Don't watch Guess. Right, I'm not going to spoil this. I'm going to do the opposite of spoiling. You guys ready? His bird dies in the end. His half-brother kills it, and he doesn't become a gameskeeper, and he works down to pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember that bit. I did it in school.
You don't remember that? You don't remember the bird in the dustbin like that?
I think I'd lost interest by that point.
No, I always remember the bird in the dustbin because it was kind of like a snigger moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think.
Right, it is learned that US government authorities started paying serious attention to investigating the possible applicability of remote viewing techniques for military purposes only, when a book titled Psychic Discoveries Behind the Iron Curtain, authored by Sheila Ostrander and Lynn Schroeder, was published in 1970. This book appears to have jolted the US Central Intelligence Agency into action, triggering what one journalist has dubbed the race for inner space. Hal Puthoff, the founder and first director of the SRI studies, has given a graphic account of how it all began in his recollections of the programme. Speaking of inner space, do you remember that film was a PG, and there's a clear bit where they hint at the bloke with all the different hands he can put on has put a vibrator on there?
What?
I'm sure you weren't watching a porno.
Do you remember Inner Space? Inner Space with Dennis Quaid in it, where he gets shrunk and put inside Martin Short.
I do remember that. Yes.
Well, there's a bit in there. Like, I noticed this as a kid. Obviously, I didn't get it. That's why it like stuck out in my mind as a kid. And what it was he puts an attachment on his hand, and I swear to God, because he puts it on his hand. It's like a long cylindrical bit of metal, and the woman, his boss, is going ooh or something like that. I'm sure that happened in Inner Space.
It's like a metallic dildo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck.
I've not seen it, but
and me thinking now, like, fuck, this is a PG, and they're doing that. Do you remember how adult PGs used to be?
We're just going to insert this microscopic submersible inside your urethra now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I assure you, cinema goers of the early 80s need to see a scene where a needle was inserted into a man's penis.
Did they do that, really? I'm pretty sure they didn't.
I think they put him up the rectum.
No, they stabbed it in the back, weren't it? He has to make his way down. He has to make his way up.
That's 3 different things you've just said. Which one was it?
He was stabbed somewhere.
I'll have to remote view into this film Inner Space, because I seem to remember that was like, it's been like parodied a couple of times, hasn't it? I think, did The Simpsons, or was it Futurama did a parody of it?
No, I don't think they actually did that. They did the Incredible... The one that's usually... It's not actually Inner Space that they do. It's usually The Incredible Journey with Donald Pleasence.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Interdimensional Lizards. Titanic was 12, and there was that bit where the tits are squished up against the window pane. That was an uncomfortable moment. My mum and dad insisted on bringing me to the cinema to see Titanic, and I was just like, oh, okay. I will say one thing in favour of Titanic. It's 3 hours long, but it doesn't feel 3 hours long.
No, it feels like 4. Or 5.
Oh, I actually sort of thought, oh God, I'm going to have to spend 3 hours watching this film my parents want to see.
Has anyone done the without Jack and Rose edit? Because that's the version that I'd rather watch.
There's plenty of other Titanic films you can watch without a love story.
A Night to Remember.
Oh, Rick and Morty did Inner Space.
I haven't seen the Jack and Rose one because I know how shit it is, so I never bothered from the start. It's not my thing.
It's chick flick.
It is.
Do you find it funny that like the woman gets married, she has kids, grandkids, probably great grandkids, and the love of her life is some bloke she knobbed that knobbed her 90 years ago, and that's
squished
like her husband. Her husband was just like the not really bothered about.
Second best.
He's the one she settled down with.
Yeah. Right. So, unfortunately, where was it? Systematic scientific investigation of telepathy and ESP had been carried out. Very easy. In the US by J.B. Ryan and his associates during the 1930s and 40s at Duke's University using a set of 5 Zener cards containing symbols such as a square, circle, star, plus sign, as you've seen in Ghostbusters.
And I had a set of those. You've got a set of those free with Unexplained magazine, the early 80s. And I did actually try it. Me and my mum tried to see how psychic we were by doing it, and
he tried Dom. Dom might be like Carrie from the film or something. You never know. Dom might have it.
Basically, there's 5 different cards, and I was getting something like 1 out of 5 right.
Which is that the is? Do you know what
the average is?
I was going to say, do you know what the average is?
It'd be 1 in 5, wouldn't it?
So anyway, one of these cards would be much like Ian did with his mum. One of these cards, selected at random, would be kept open in one room, and a transmitting agent would focus his mental attention and concentration on the same. A receiver or viewer sitting in the adjacent room would try to guess which card is open. The success rate in such card guessing tests would be recorded. If the experimental hit rate was statistically more significant than the chance expectation rate of 1 in 5, so there you go, no psychic powers whatsoever, Ian. It would be interpreted. as evidence of telepathic or ESP mode of information transfer.
I know what I'm getting Hemi for Christmas now. I've just remote viewed into his office at the moment. I can see it.
Up on a rope.
I'm going to get you a fidget spinner, Hemi.
Why? Because you don't like the pen?
You're playing with your fidget, aren't you?
The pen, yeah.
My fidget is cotton buds.
I'm going to get some Amazon vouchers or something like that.
Unfortunately, to obtain statistically significant results, my false teeth are in the wrong way around today. The experiment had to be repeated thousands of times, and this led to decline effects due to boredom or tiredness on the part of the remote viewer. To overcome this problem, parapsychology researchers at SRI started using a set of pictures taken from the National Geographic magazine instead of Zener cards. A rank order method of quantifying the success rate was developed for this. Did they go, it's a black woman with her tits out? Because there's always a black woman with her tits out in the National Geographic, isn't there?
Yeah, well, it's the flora and fauna of far-off exotic lands.
And before the internet, that's all you had.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
that
you see a baboon with a red arse.
And the catalogue, yeah. But Uri Geller did do this as well, where he would get someone to draw a picture, and he then would draw the same picture.
Yeah.
But what he was doing was watching the top of the pencil as the person was drawing it. That was in view, so he could see which ways lines were going. So he could repeat the strokes and come up with something similar.
Naughty.
Yeah, I know.
So the focus of research then shifted to assessing the success rate in testbed or field trials, where a remote viewer would be asked to sense and describe a natural scene or a military site where an agent or beacon was located. Both the transmitting agent at the site and the viewer or receiver sitting in the lab will be asked to fill out identical 30-point questionnaire with a yes, 1, or a naught, or a no, naught marking. This method of assessment was first developed by Princeton University researchers in their Engineering Anomalies research program, while investigating precognitive remote perception using advanced mathematical methods developed in the field of artificial intelligence and pattern recognition. The degree of success of the remote viewer was quantified. In the next stage of research stimulating... The next stage of research stimulating military spying missions, that's the way it's written, the presence of the transmitting agent at the target site was dispensed with, and the remote viewer was encouraged to view the relevant military targets within the US, given only the latitude and longitude of the target site. A brief summary of the outcome of the research on anomalous cognition, sponsored by the US government, is available on Edwin May's website, www.lfr.org. Dr. May was the director of this research at SA... Yeah, hold on.
In fucking wanker.
Yeah. LFR.
LFO.
Either one of you two want to have a look at that website?
LFR, let's have a look then.
L. F.
Have a look.
R. L. F. Sorry, I was just thinking of that song.
This is where the results were.
Apparently.
Why don't I bookmark these things? It'll make it easier to find them again. Because
this is trying to sell you stuff.
Oh, of course it is.
Here we go.
The Stargate Archives.
Stargate. Here we go. This is the David Icke type stuff, isn't it? ESP Wars, East and West, an account of the military use of psychic espionage. Here we go. Get your
it's in the library. I think it's in. Is it in the library or is it in the research section?
What's that? Content.
He said there was something in it, didn't he?
But in the research section, have a look in the research section. There's a lot of information in there.
Yeah,
you need to remote view the research section. In the library, we've got, I don't know.
I'm trying to remote view the initial link I sent to Hemi, about what the CIA said about remote viewing, because I thought that would be a good thing to read rather than this Reddit bollocks.
Did you send it to me?
Are you reading Reddit?
No, I literally just added you on the Twitter thread, and that was it.
Oh, okay then.
And then, there we go. Can do. Right, there we are. Right, so the CIA. So this is a proof released in the year 2000. Method of site acquisition. So sealed envelope coupled with geographic coordinates. The sealed envelope was given to the subject immediately prior to the interview. The envelope was not opened until after the interview. In the envelope was a 3 by 5 inch card with the following information. The planet Mars. Time of interest approximately 1 million years BC. Selected geographic coordinates provided by the parties requesting the information were verbally given to the subject during the interview. And then there's some handwritten numbers, not sure if they're pertinent, so I won't read them. Monitor, plus 10 minutes, ready to start. All right, now, using the information in the envelope I've provided, exclusively...
I believe the Yanks call it an envelope.
Envelope, using the information in the envelope, focus on...
They probably call it an envelope or something like that, because they like accenting stuff in the wrong place, don't they?
40.89 degrees north, 9.55 degrees west. Subject. I want to say it looks like I don't know. It sort of looks... I think I've got an oblique view of a pyramid or pyramid form. It's very high. It's kind of sitting in a large depressed area. Monitor. All right. It's yellowish, ochre colored. All right. Moving time to the time indicated in the envelope. I provided you and describe what's happening. I'm tracking severe clouds. More like dust storm. It's geologic problem. Seems to be like just a minute. I've got to iron this out. It's really weird. Just report your raw perceptions at this time. You're still early in the session. I'm looking at after effect of a major geologic problem. Okay, go back to the time before the geologic problem. Total difference. It's before there's no I don't know.
This is nearly as bad as the interview one, isn't it?
I'm reading out all the R's and ellipses that are put into this. I don't know. Oh hell, it's like the mountains of dirt appear and then disappear. When you go before, see, large flat surfaces, very, smooth, angles, walls. They're really large, though. I mean, they're megalithic. All right, at this period in time, now before the geologic activity, look around, in and around this area, and see if you can find any activity. So, all right, okay. Sea pyramids. Can't tell if it's overlay or not.
Is that actually the whole thing? Or
Okay.
Has he just cut it off badly? Because there's obviously type above that sea pyramids, isn't there?
It would be nice to know.
Yeah.
Can't tell if it's overlay. Because they're different. Okay. Do these pyramids have insides and outsides? Got both.
You can tell it's a Yank saying that, innit? Who else would go, do these pyramids have insides and outsides? Well, of course they fucking do. Everything has an inside and an outside.
It's really, it's an interesting perception I'm getting. Monitor. Parentheses. I think that he's losing his ability to move accurately, but he is attracted to things that are interesting. So we're going to go with his own. We're going to let him go ahead and explore what seems to be interesting to him, rather than move on to subjects indicated here. Close parentheses. This is paid for by the US taxpayers and the Iran-Contra affair and other drug banning operations. Remember that time that Panama...
Oh, they were giving away the LSD. They never really sold the LSD, did they?
Remember that time when Panama couldn't destroy 11 tons of cocaine, so they just loaded up onto CIA transport planes for the CIA?
I understand it's very, very difficult to destroy cocaine, isn't it?
it's nigh on impossible to destroy. I mean, that's
the only
why
substance on Earth harder than diamond, isn't it?
I mean, they should make black boxes out of cocaine. It's that indestructible. So anyway, we've done the monitor bit where it's like, okay, he's not actually remote viewing what we want, but we're interested in what he's got to say, so we'll let him carry on.
Yeah.
Subject. It's filtered from storms or something. Say that again.
He hasn't
Subject.
said,
They're like shelters from storms. These structures you're seeing, yes, they're designed for that. All right. Go inside one of these and find some activity to tell me about. Parentheses, plus 37 minutes real time, close parentheses.
What does that mean?
Chambers.
Plus 37 minutes.
I assume that's how long the interview's been going on for.
Okay.
Bear in mind, you see, the Americans have got a haze of like fluoride and high fructose corn syrup to get through, so they do talk a bit retarded.
Yeah.
If ever you guys think, oh, Hobbit, you're exaggerating, I would like to bring your attention to Mr. American, King Cobra JFS. According to him, fish is dairy because it contains protein.
Milk.
I think that's why.
Don't forget, Kamala Harris says that that bacon's a spice.
Yeah, but she uses bacon bits. Now, so we're back to this plus 37 minutes real time. Different chambers, but they're almost stripped of any kind of furnishings or anything. It's like strictly functional place for sleeping.
Stop with the fucking
not
business.
A good word. Well, that's not a good word. Hibernations, some form. I get real raw inputs, storms, savage storm, and sleeping through storms. Any more? Yes, there is. Yeah. Move close to one of them and ask them to tell you about themselves. They're ancient people. They are dying. It's past their time or age. Tell me about this. They're very philosophic about it. They're looking for a way to survive, and they just can't. Monitor. Open parentheses. Plus 30 minutes. Definite voltage reversal. Close parentheses.
What the fucking hell are you on about?
I wish I knew what this is like. Maybe they got electrodes tied up to his testicles, like they're remote viewing expansions. Can't seem to get their way out. They can't seem to find their way out. So they're hanging on whilst they look or wait for something to return, or something coming with the answer. What is it they're waiting for? They evidently was a group or a party of them that went to find new place to live. It's like I'm getting all kinds of overwhelming input of the corruption of their environment. It's failing very rapidly, and this group went somewhere, like a long way to find another place to live. What was the cause of the atmospheric disturbance or the environmental disturbance? I see a picture of Salaman, Scaramouche, can you do the fandango? A picture of like oh how, it's almost a warp in oh god, this is difficult.
He's saying like, now, he's stopped saying he's saying
It's like going, let's see, I'm just going to put that down to the transcriber being lazy.
Okay then.
The raw data. Oh, yes. I get data. Australians have got a weird way of saying data. What's their way of saying data? Daughter? It sounds like daughter, but it's not.
Yeah.
The raw data. Oh, I get a globe that it's like a globe that goes through a comet's tail, or it's through a river or something. But it's all very cosmic. It's like space pictures.
Oh, you know, the space pictures. You know, the space pictures, Hobbit. The space pictures.
No, before you leave this individual, ask him if there is any way that you ask him if he knows. And that's unfortunately the end of this bit.
There's no more in that thread.
Well, there is another thing. Is this relate? Oh, yeah, here we go. Ask him who you are, and is there any way you can help him in his present predicament? All I get is that they must just wait. Doesn't know who I am. Thinks he perceives I'm a hallucination or something. Okay, when the others left, did these people are waiting when the others left, how did they go? Get an impression of, don't know what the hell it is. It looks like the inside of a larger boat. Very rounded walls and shiny metal. Go along with them on their journey and find out where it is they go. Impression of a really crazy place with volcanoes and gas pockets and strange plants.
If you look through his feed, there's loads more of this stuff.
It's very much like going from the frying pan into the fire. Difference is there seems to be a lot of vegetation where the other place did not have it, and different kind of storm. Alright, it's time to come back now to the sound of my voice into the present time right now, the 22nd of May 1984. The sound of my voice. Move now back to the room, back to the sound of my voice, back further now to the sound of my voice on the 22nd of May 1984. End of interview.
So this one is this is the CIA pro conning it. So they go, it's inexpensive. The principal cost of remote viewing collection is the people involved. There's no expensive hardware. And lastly, there is no known defence. Time, target size or degree of difficulty all have no apparent effect on collection by remote viewing. Even conceptualised plans have been collected against prior to their actual implementation. Remote viewing has been successfully used against 7 categories of tasking. 5 are described in the project book and colour-coded for easy reference. So they are 1. Penetration of inaccessible targets. That's the scrotums of Welshmen, isn't it, Hobbit?
Oh, in addition to this, the men who stare at goats was like let's throw mud into the water on this issue.
Yeah. So 2... hold on, I need to do this list up. I'm halfway through a list and you're in. So they are 1. Penetration of inaccessible targets, black tab. Science and technology information, red tab. Queuing of other intelligence collection systems, yellow tab. Imminent hostilities, blue tab. And then Directive 5, which is which you can't see, like Robocop.
Oh, I found an interesting article. Maybe Ian or myself would like to read this. It's the New York Post, and I'll just put it in there. Can you guys see that? I'm gonna do
Psychic Squad.
Yeah, that might be an interesting story because instead of it being Mars from a billion million years ago, it's Iran in 1979.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's good.
Good.
Okay, do you want to do that one, Hobbit, or shall I?
You do it, Ian. You haven't had a chance to speak yet.
Well, I haven't been getting the links for some reason, but anyway, maybe because I'm in Wales, though, and the internet isn't great here.
Well,
inside the CIA Psychic Squad,
that
helped get U.S. hostages out of Iran. Oh. In a leaky old building, Fort Meade, a psychic hired American spies had a mind-bending breakthrough. It was July 1980 when a vision of a sick man on a stretcher in an aeroplane struck him. He had 5 other psychics had already spent months on a secret mission. Their job: save the 52 Americans seized in November 1979 in the Iran hostage crisis, and spy on the Iranian captors using only paranormal powers. So this is interesting, isn't it?
Mm.
Let's see.
Oh, just to interrupt you briefly, there was this thing. It came to me in the dream. So I think it was the Caspian Sea or the Black Sea. I forget which one it was, but the Russian Navy were doing surface-to-air missile drills. A Ukrainian plane flew over. This was like in the early 2000s. And it got shot down because it was a live fire exercise. And in my dream, I just saw this like light coming up from what looked like a lake. And it shot up and it struck this aircraft, which slowly began to lose altitude and fly down to Earth. So I saw that dream and thought, that's an interesting dream. I've never had a dream like that before. Wonder what that's about. And then I heard on the news that, there was this passenger jet got shot down by the Russian Navy accidentally.
And then you found yourself in school assembly naked.
And then I woke up and I wet the bed.
Yeah.
I dreamt I ate the world's
really,
largest marshmallow, and when I woke up, my pillow was gone.
That's an old one.
No,
I know
that
it
was
is.
spooky.
It's an older one, but it does check out.
That is pretty good. All right then, back to this now. They are going to release one of the hostages, announced the psychic, a heavy-set 60-year-old man with glasses, whose name the Post is withholding. I don't know his name yet, but I found in a deck of cards, and he has multiple sclerosis. Oh, sorry, multiple sclerosis. I've never read that before. Sorry. So, intelligence honchos were skeptical, but nevertheless sent out orders to deploy doctors. 4 days later, the Iranians let go Richard Queen, a 28-year-old U.S. embassy worker whose poor health had spiraled downhill after 250 days in captivity. The world would soon learn that Queen, whose last name is indeed a playing card, suffered multiple sclerosis and would likely have died without specialized doctors and a quick flight out of Tehran. It says Queen, but it doesn't say what playing card psychic picked. It doesn't actually say that he picked a queen. It says it could have been a queen. It's interesting though, because around this time, psychics were used more, and York the Ripper murders, which was in around 1980, they employed psychic women and those kind of people. Like
Did they say, you know, that bloke you had in 5 times and done fuck all about him? It's him. Did they say that?
Yeah, 10 times. No, they were saying other stuff. They didn't get it right. And also, Fred West was also psychic, wasn't it? He was getting.
You can say what you like about Fred West, but he does a good patio, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. Anyway, we predicted some remarkable things, said Joseph Vogel, a 71-year-old retired military-trained clairvoyant. Trained clairvoyant, I'm not sure how that works. Who worked on the operation. Because we pay our tax for that, don't we?
Yeah.
We were just as effective as any spy on the ground. Wesley released CIA files along with the post interviews and psychics, spies and hostages. The tale of Operation Grill Flame, a paranormal intelligence program that unfolded like a Hollywood spy thriller. Think James Bond meets The Sixth Sense. In the operation,
that's a weird name though, isn't it? Operation Grill Flame.
I know. Maybe who was that guy? Who's the boxer with the grill?
Oh, George Foreman.
Maybe he was involved. Yeah, I was going to say George Floyd then, but that's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the operation, military-trained clairvoyants met more than 200 times to conjure up visions about the health, treatment, and whereabouts of the Iran hostages before the hostages were finally released in January 1981. The so-called remote viewing program was set up by Army Intelligence and the Defense Intelligence Agency, supported by the CIA, and lasted more than 20 years before it was shut down in 1995. So it couldn't have been that good, could it, if it was shut down? It was used.
I should imagine it's. I should imagine when reporters get too close, I should imagine they just shutter it all up and open it up under a new name, don't they? I should imagine.
I suppose so. Either that, or it wasn't actually working, and it was.
Yeah.
It was used to attempt to track down everything from Soviet submarines to Chinese nuclear weapons, and truckloads of drugs under at least 3 different code names. All told, a total of 227 psychics conducted 26,000 of the supernatural sessions, costing taxpayers roughly $20 million, according to documents and insiders.
Money well spent.
They could have repaired the roads or something with that, couldn't they?
Not for 20 million.
Well, but it cost them to put a bit of cement on the.
Just think of the number of shrimp you could have on treadmills for $20 million.
Yeah.
Imagine how much moon rock you could feed to cockroaches for that.
About a microgram, I'd imagine.
The psychics came up with full information less than half of the time. A rate clairvoyant tout as a glowing triumph, and that former CIA official slam as a laughable failure. Borderline ludicrous, said William Donaghy, a 69-year-old ex-CIA case officer who spent 15 months as a captive in Iran. Most of the time, they were dead wrong. And there you go, see? Basically, like a bit like the EFP card, you're going to get 1 in 5 right, but, you know.
Well, the bits which are interesting with that is how it's like statistically above average for some people, and the other thing I find interesting is some people are like statistically below average. It's very unusual. Graham Hancock's done research into telephone telepathy, and the results of his experiment, I think, was like people were getting it right 75% of the time, where you'd think they'd only get it right 25% of the time. So they had like 4 people could possibly call you.
Who is Graham Hancock?
Is he
the producer of Ancient Aliens? I don't think he actually does it. He doesn't actually present it,
right.
does he?
Let me, if I type in Graham Hancock. Oh,
I got a book who is about the Ark that I started reading.
Wikipedia must be listening to my microphone. So I type in Graham, and the first thing that comes up is Graham Hancock. So he's a British writer who promotes pseudoscientific, and there's 2 citations there for it, about ancient civilizations and hypothetical lost lands. But he also did telephone telepathy, and that was like proper science.
I find Ancient Aliens a bit shit, though. I couldn't really get into it.
I've never watched it, to be honest. Is it any good?
Oh, Freeman knew that Greek bloke, and apparently he was like feeding him a lot of the information, which then he popularised in the show.
He's the guy with the wild hair, isn't he? That's on all the memes.
Yeah, aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was aliens, but also I'm saying it was aliens.
I prefer the one with Craig Charles. Have you seen that one?
Well, the one I want to see is apparently, Derek Okora would do Most Haunted. Do you know who his co-host was?
The one from Blue Peter.
Daniela Westbrook from EastEnders.
No, that was. What was that one, Ian? Was that Psychic Towns?
It was a different version.
Was that Psychic Towns?
It was basically the same. It was basically the same thing,
format. That's where the infamous Mary Loves Dick comes from.
Is that Poundland Most Haunted?
I think this was before Danielle Westbrook's face caved in.
Yeah.
The ghosts caved her face in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Cokes caved her face in, wasn't it?
The ghost.
Are we ready for? Are you ready for it?
I know the name Robert walks around, and I know Mary does. But there's this peace and calm, spiritual activity there with. You alright?
Derek Okora's remote viewing Mary.
Where's it going? You alright?
He knows something about Mary.
Mary loves Dick. Mary loves Dick.
She can't get enough of it.
Mary loves Dick. Mary loves Dick.
I think there's another good one. Another good one. He got possessed by a dog as well and was barking.
Oh wow!
Yeah, spirit of a dog came into him and he was doing the.
How is it? Why is this Native American spirit guide called Sam? That doesn't seem like a very Native American name to me.
It is. How do you
know? That was what he overheard the producers talking about, wasn't it? When he got sacked, he set him up. And made sure that they heard him. They were heard talking about it being an ancient burial ground or some shit. We said that,
No, I'm saying about his spirit guide's called Sam, isn't he? His spirit guide's called Sam.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't paid too much attention to him, and he's dead now anyway.
Derek calls ice. He lied about playing for Liverpool as well, didn't he?
Liverpool. I think he did as a junior though. It's a bit like Gordon Ramsay because he says he plays for Rangers. He did as a junior, but he didn't. I don't think he actually
in the same way that Robbie Williams played for Brentford.
So like, the only celebrity that actually played for any of these places was David Icke because he was a goalie.
He was a pretty good goalie, wasn't he? Coventry City, weren't he?
Gary Lineker was a footballer before he became a crisps salesman.
Gary Lineker pooped himself on the pitch, and then he had to jump in a muddy puddle to cover it up.
No, he had it in his hand, didn't he? He caught it as it was coming out of his jaw. He had it in his hand, yeah.
Oh, dirty bastard!
Unlike Fabian Barthez, who just got his dick out and pissed it in the goal mouth. The ball's down the other end of the pitch.
Barry,
everyone else was watching him.
To get us back on the paranormal thing, what was his name? Do you remember Barry Fry when he used to manage Birmingham? He used to piss by the corner flags because it was supposed to have kept the curse away.
Yeah, and when I used to play junior football, there was one match. It was quite a bitter match we were playing, and you used to swap ends at half time. Yeah. We were in our end, resting, having our drinks and whatever, and we pissed in the goal mouth, and then we swapped ends. So their goalie had to dive in our piss. I remember it. Yeah.
What a sport!
As well.
What a sport! Jumpers for goalposts. Little kids
it's
playing
the
on the park.
Of kings.
The Hobbit used to piss in the sink in his room in the hall of residence, didn't he?
Oxford's never been the same since I visited.
No, North London Polytechnic is where I did it.
Holy fucking hell. When did you go? The 1940s or something? It's been the University of Northampton for as long as I've known.
London Metropolitan. No, it was the late 80s. It was still Polytechnic of North London. It was good. And yeah.
I thought it was North London. I thought you said Northampton Polytechnic. Oh,
no, North London. But that's called Metropolitan University. But it's not a university. It's a shithole. But no, in my room I had a sink, and obviously it was very useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Hobbit would have enjoyed that.
Well, did you remember your manners? You always took the washing up out first.
Yeah.
I just remember that bit about Jeffrey shit my stew. I had to chuck half of it away.
It's a good old Jethro, isn't it? I do like Jethro. I remember that one when he said about he said he went out for a plane ride or something, and the pilot had a heart attack and died. So he's ringing up the base. He says, "How do you know the pilot's dead?" I said, "Shove the fucker out, didn't I?" He says, and then he goes, "What's your status and position?" I said, "Well, I'm upside down." He said, "How do you know you're upside down?" He said, "The shit's running out me collar."
Was this his X-rated routine?
I think they pretty much all were.
Because he would have had. Really, I thought he was more of a Saturday night, Brucey type entertainer.
I've never really heard any like TV stand. He didn't really like do. I mean, even his fucking TV stuff was pretty offensive, wasn't it?
I'm thinking of Jimmy Cricket. I think I'm not sure. Anyway,
yeah,
he's gone now. He's dead, isn't he? Anyway,
Jimmy Cricket's dead.
Gone.
Fucking hell! Don't say that.
Is he? No, Jethro's dead, isn't he?
Oh yeah, Jethro died a couple of years ago, didn't he? I like Jethro.
Yeah. And Ali Bongo.
Ali Bongo. He was married to Victoria Wood, weren't he, Ali Bongo?
Yeah, and she's dead.
Yeah.
And he's probably dead as well, but he's not famous enough to know if he is dead or not.
We should cover the curse of Dad's Army because they're all dead, aren't they?
Yep, and Last of the Summer Wine.
Yeah.
What about the Curse of June?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of those actors died shortly. I mean, I know they were pushing on in age, but Like some of those guys shouldn't have died. The guy who played Duncan Idaho in that, he
Yeah.
was in his mid-30s when he died.
You joking? He's dead, is he?
I can look at IMDb and find out what his name is. Well, I can remote view.
Hobbit, who was your favourite? Who was your favourite character in Dad's Army? I think I know.
The Spiv.
No, Fraser, isn't it? Because he used to say, "We're all doomed."
I see.
We're all doomed.
Tying in with your daytime program.
Doom's a good game. That.
It is a good game.
Yeah.
Ian likes watching you play it. Don't you, Ian?
Well, I
not
should
anymore. Cause my operation I did because I had nothing else to do. I'm recovered now, so I don't watch it so much. Wasn't it the first shoot 'em up, or am I thinking of something else?
I think Wolfenstein 3D came before that. You could argue that Battlezone was the first-person shooter.
Yeah. It's not the
I don't know. You could go back all the way to whatever that game Marty McFly's playing in Back to the Future.
Well, that's Battlezone, isn't it? The vector tanks graphics.
No, he's playing like Wild West shooting, like gun game.
Oh well, if it's Wild Draw McGee, that's like full motion video.
No, it's not that. No, it's Back to the Future. It's 1980s, isn't it? A bit. So it's like an 8-bit.
All right.
Like a Nintendo NES style shoot 'em up.
Richard Jordan, he was born in 1937, died in 1993. So in 1984, he'd been in his 40s, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not long at all. Why did he die so early?
Who is he?
He was the one that played Duncan Idaho in June.
Lynch's June. You've seen the David Lynch June, haven't you, Ian?
Right. So he died.
Sting.
Yes.
Sting in it, isn't it? Yeah, I've not seen it because isn't it for 3 hours long or something?
No, it's not that long.
No, it's back when films were only an hour and a half tops.
Right.
Well, what's his name? Albert Hitchcock said, "You don't make a film longer than the average bladder. And if you are going to make a film like that, put a bloody intermission in it. Like I watched Grand Prix the other day. That film has got an intermission in the middle, and it was brilliant. I love because the thing about the intermission is there's this bit where they're all getting back onto the grid, and it's
when the old girl comes around with her tray with the ice cream in it. You remember that, don't you, Ian?
But it's nice.
Yeah, and the guy playing the organ at the front.
Why don't we have an intermission? Like, look, if you had an intermission, you'd be able to go get more popcorn, have a piss.
Yeah.
You know, go and have a smoke if you're in so inclined.
Piss in the sink.
Yeah. Well, they got urinals.
Piss in the sink because everyone's at the got the all in the urinals.
Yeah.
So anyway,
but when you're watching a film, though, you can tell if there's a talky bit or a bit boring, or dip out in that bit. Wait till the action bit finishes, then they start talking. You think, yeah.
We had this device to allow, like halfway in the film, for people to get up. It's called the intermission.
They had one in the Holy Grail, didn't they?
Well, the thing is, I went to cinema in Malta in 2016, and it was like, and I went back in 2017 because it was like, oh, you know what? The cinema ticket's like €6, and there's an intermission, and you can smoke. That was really exciting. The idea of smoking.
To be able to smoke in the cinema watching the film, they used to have little like ashtrays on the arms.
Yeah.
And on aeroplanes. And on buses, and in work.
Do you know, I think the world was a happier place when people could smoke. I mean, yeah, sure, you died earlier, but it's about quality over quantity, right? It's like, for example, if you were to have like a calorie-restricted diet of cabbage soup, you'd live another 10 years. However, you have to counteract with that. With those next 10 years, you'll be subsisting on cabbage soup.
They'd be farted a lot as well.
Well, it's just the fact that, look, you can live an extra 10 years, but in that 10 years you will eat nothing but cabbage soup. So, those last 10 years are the shit years where you spend going mad and hitting yourself and stuff anyway. So you don't want those 10 years anyway, do you? I honestly think it's better just to Smoke, be happy. I mean, well, you can't be happy smoking these days. It's so bloody expensive. But, yeah.
I've been sick, so I can't anymore.
Oh yeah, well there is that. So no
Yeah.
cigars, no pipes.
No, I would if I wasn't ill. I would smoke if I wasn't ill.
Shame you didn't get a
No, I'd
tracheotomy
smoke
in. You could have done two at once then.
Yeah,
Oh,
more or
yeah,
less that's the same thing.
You could talk while smoking through your neck hole.
No, I would smoke roll-ups. I'd smoke roll-ups if I wasn't ill.
Oh, you see, I like pipe, and I can't find my pipe.
What, crack
So,
pipe?
yeah, I borrow
You
it
sure
from
Dave didn't know
my
it?
cracker mate. Yeah, it's good crack. It's very Moorish.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, should we have a look at the IRVA website?
Oh, well, you're going to remote view into it.
I don't know. Why do they need to have a conference online? That's what I want to know.
The Clairvoyance
Why don't you
Society.
think of something? Think of something, and we'll try and guess what you're thinking. Alive.
No, that's the wrong way. You gotta go. You gotta go into. Hobbit's got to go into Ian's bedroom, Ian's toilet, and see if it's clean or not.
Right.
See
So
if there's
I'm
a big
looking
skid
out.
mark on there.
There's pubes in the
if
soap
there's-
bar. He's
sink
got
has
one of
got,
those. He's got one of those blue things. You know what you put on the rim of the toilet seat.
Oh yeah, Ian's definitely
You flush. It's got one of those. And you got Andrex as well. You get the name brand stuff.
Oh, the posh stuff.
I get whatever is it softest from Aldi? You know the Aldi one.
Mm.
I think it's called softest. It's free ply.
Yeah.
I got
your
some from
Is it
fingers-
Lidl.
knockoff
doesn't
Charmin?
go
Is it?
I got some from Lidl, thinking, oh, this is a good deal, and it's like, actually, no, it's more expensive than Aldi. So, it's I can't believe it's not Cushell or Andrex. Yeah.
So anyway, shall we look at the IRVA website?
Imagine
I don't
when
think
people
I've
use
got one of those
newspaper to wipe their bum holes.
Yeah. How do you?
God,
What would be the point in watching a remote viewing video? Because it's just the bloke sat
hang
there
on.
telling you stuff.
Hang on, I'm going to do remote viewing properly. I see something. It's a blue roll.
You're going to remote view Hobbit. Hang on.
Yeah.
You've got like a wood burning stove type thing, haven't you? It's coming to me that you burn things on in your house.
Does Hobbit love dick?
Is that right?
Does Hobbit love dick? She's saying.
It's funny. Everyone calls it a wood burning stove. I also burn coal in it.
An Aga.
It's
Rayburn?
a multi-fuel. It's a stove.
Oh, is it?
It's got
an Aga
a coal.
Is it not an Aga or a Rayburn?
It's a Stovax Economy 7.
Okay.
Aga.
Yeah. A Stovax.
Stovax.
Aga.
No, not Aga. That's a different company. My stove is made by a company called Stovax. And it's got a coal shelf in it because I burn coal in it. I also burn... If it was bigger, I would burn more logs. But unfortunately, I can only put about 2 or 3 in at a time. So I got to use coal.
And what? And then this... Because I didn't think you were allowed to do that anymore for the environment. But you are...
I'm in a smoke-free area, and we've moved from anthracite, which is naturally smokeless, to smokeless ovoids, because it's not that the calorific value of the smokeless ovoids are better, it's just that they burn better. There's no clinker in them when I use them.
So it's allowed then? You're allowed to have a chimney?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, it's existing, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't.
Grandfather Din, I believe it's called.
I might get myself an Aga then. I got an electric one.
I'd get a Rayburn because you get a back boiler with those, and then you can use it to warm up your water.
Rayburn, like Tom Cruise was wearing in Top Gun.
Well, you don't. It's not like the exclusive one. You can have like additional. So you could have like a gas boiler as well, But if you've got a Rayburn and you know you keep it on all day because it's a boiler, it just means that it's I mean, it's basically just like, oh, okay, well, the oven's on all the time. So you never feel self-conscious about, oh, I'll just put one crumpet in the oven because it's just like, well, it's got to be on anyway, and I'll do that.
Oh, did you know the IRV have a target practice group on Facebook?
Oh, is it? I think I saw something about this in Reddit where like there's witch trying to remote view into Allah, and Allah was just like, get away from me, you fag. No, get away from me, you hag. I said hag, YouTube. Hag. Get you the shit out of your ears.
Yeah.
You're going to be in trouble for that.
No, it's okay. I've got the fag pass.
So anyway,
they said that it's apparently really bad idea to remote view Allah because he's got protection. Oh, and Donald Trump as well. Donald.
Yeah, they really. Did you know the IRV's got dem programs, Hobbit?
Oh God! Can you remote view into why my leg's gone dead, please? Why?
I think you live in a kind of a Victorian type house, Hobbit. Is that right? Not a modern house.
It is old, yeah.
Oh, this is quite good. If you want to join, there's an application fee of $45, and then your first year of membership's $199, and then they won't tell you the renewal fee for the second year.
Why not just go to the bank, withdraw $199, and just left it down the toilet? It'll be the same.
Or you could give that $199 to a crackhead, and at least then somebody will be enjoying the money.
Yeah.
Hey, can I borrow £100 for drugs? I'll pay you back.
Yeah, I'll see you out when I get my new glasses.
Yeah.
So that's that. Have we got any more for any more, Hobbit? So we're gonna do. Did you want to do Uri Geller then, Ian? Another week.
Oh, I was just.
We can, but we need we need to know what we need to tie him into this week's episode. Really,
that was the tie I was going to do. Uri Geller has practiced remote viewing and's done it for the both the CIA and
he's talked all kinds of bollocks about who he's done it for. I've actually got the thing up.
In our Uri Geller episode, we're going to be like, who did it better, Steven Seagal or Uri Geller?
Did you know your mate James Randi wrote a book called The Truth About Uri Geller?
Is this one of those things that if you keep lying enough about James Randi being my friend, I'll just go, oh yeah, you're totally right, Hemmy. Him and I are besties.
Are you not aware of like the thing like your mate like meaning somebody you absolutely fucking hate? Have you not? Is that not a thing? It's just like
it's just the autistic principle of the matter. I disavow the statement. I autistically disavow this statement.
I don't mean your mate. I mean that bloke you fucking hate. That's what your mate means. Oh. You know that bloke. You know that person you absolutely fucking think is a dickhead.
You know Arse Deep, your mate Arse Deep.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you know, like your mate Arse Deep.
Yeah. He was working on my mate's roof the other day.
Oh, fucking hell. Did you know Uri Geller filed a $15 million lawsuit against James Randi and the Committee for Scientific Investigation with the claims of the paranormal?
No, but I do want to hear about it.
Over slander concerning Randy's statements that Geller had tricked even reputable scientists with tricks that are the kind that used to be on the back of cereal boxes when I was a kid. The court dismissed the case and Geller had to eventually settle the case that would cost them $120,000. But that is a fucking insult. Like, that is slander, isn't it? Like, your tricks are the kind that used to be on the back of cereal boxes when I was a kid. Like, shouldn't they make James Randi prove that statement?
I was going to say, what sort of tricks are back of your cereal?
Like the man that's like, hey, you got to study on that, bro. Hey, Randy, have you got to study on that, bro? That Geller's tricks were on the back of cereal boxes when you were a kid. Have you got to study on that, bro?
Sauce, bro.
Sauce, bro. Randy, bro. Randy, bro.
Yeah.
Randy.
Sauce, bro. Sauce.
Randy, bro. You got any proof that they were on the cereal boxes when you were a kid, Randy? Because I think you're talking bollocks. I think I'm skeptical that that is a thing when you were a kid.
Yeah. Speaking of which, be right back.
Well, Wiki introduced Uri Geller as Israeli-British illusionist, magician, television personality, and self-proclaimed psychic. So they're not having any of his nonsense, are they? 77 he is. He's been around a while. Looks good for his age, though,
he used to do Crackerjack and that when I was a kid. I'm sure he's been on Crackerjack before, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Definitely Blue Peter. I'm sure he's done Blue Peter.
Oh, I think he's been on every program there's been. He used to go on Nationwide and stuff like that, didn't he?
Hobbit said he was on Through the Keyhole and he had a nice gaff.
Said that.
Or was that you? Oh no, it was you said that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I said that. He was on Through the Keyhole and he did have a nice gaff.
Yeah.
But yes. He's not been around for a while. I've not seen him do it. Maybe we've just got sick of his nonsense.
I think he's still about.
He's made a few quid.
It's kind of like he's like he's half celebrity and half like kind of I'm a celebrity type geezer. And has he done it? I'm pretty sure he's done I'm a celebrity. I should imagine.
Probably, he said he was friends with Michael Jackson. He used to hang around with him, didn't he? And when Louis Theroux did that thing,
did he do any remote viewing into the bedroom? Did he?
Yeah, and see what boys were there. But when Louis Theroux was trying to get an interview with Michael Jackson, he sort of
oh my god, he's got UriGeller.com.
Yeah, it's a bit oddkish. His website, a bit out there.
I think that what's that? That Unexplained magazine wasn't that Uri Geller's? Because I've got some paranormal magazines somewhere that are Uri Geller's blah blah blah, but I can't remember what it was called.
It wasn't his, but he was in it quite a lot. Yeah. But that was good. That magazine. It came out in I think it was 1980. I got it. I remember. Arthur C. Clarke was on TV at the time.
This was the one I'm thinking of. The one I've got is like a 90s one. I don't know whether it's like a revamp or something.
Yeah, it may have been. So I think they did reissue it a few times.
Oh shit! Did you know Uri Geller did a TV series called The Successor, an Israeli television competition program in which contestants perform acts of mentalism, illusion, escapism, and other feats before a live studio audience?
No, and if it was Israeli, then I don't think I've seen it. But yes, maybe that's why he's not been around lately. Because he is from Israel, isn't it? And they're not very popular at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's keeping his head down, is he?
Yeah, mind you, he could help out in that war. He could use his powers, couldn't he, to divert some missiles or something. But
he's got a shop. Yeah, I think he's probably got a shop on his. He does a lot of good work for charity. He doesn't like to talk about it, except for the big section on his website. You want to see what work Uri Geller's done for charity, mate?
Let's have a look. I was having a look. Yeah, what has he done?
He's saving Palestinian children. He did a lot of good work for 3,000th Palestinian child has heart operation in Israel through Save a Child's Heart. I've got plenty of spares lying around
as well.
Is that where they take the heart out and then give it to a more deserving Jewish child?
No, I think he saves.
He's milking the spoon bending a bit, isn't he?
What else?
Well, it's worked for him.
We're on UriGeller.com, Hobbit.
Oh, all the great things Uri Geller has done.
Yeah.
If Uri Geller's so great, what has Uri Geller done for us?
Yeah, was the spoon bending? He did the spoon bending, didn't he?
You know the Uri Gellers, he runs up and down, bends the spoons, the spoon bending.
Yeah, you know the spoon bending. The spoon bending and the fixing the watches.
Yeah, he's fixing the watches, running up and down.
He can only bend his own spoons, though. He doesn't. If you give him a spoon to bend, he can't do it.
He's got on his website. He's got a testimonial from the CIA. As a result of Geller's success in this experimental period, we consider that he has demonstrated his paranormal perceptual ability in a convincing and unambiguous manner. Yeah, that's why they were taking the piss out of him, was it?
Well, that's just the plausible deniability. They got to take the piss out of him because otherwise people will go, "Hey, this remote viewing's real," and it's used in like hostage situations.
Do you want to go to the Uri Geller Museum?
Oh, I think that's in Israel.
I'm trying to find out where it is.
Phone number's not. Yeah,
I'll do it when Israel gives me my free
what's
ticket.
What's plus 972? That's got to be Israel, right? Isn't it?
I don't know what that area code is.
Yeah, that's the country code. I think plus 972 has got to be Australia, Israel.
Israelia.
It's 7 days a week at Mazal Area Street, 7 Old Jaffa.
Old Jaffa.
Old Jaffa.
Yeah.
Well, that's not Saudi Arabia, is it?
Yeah. Shall I put that in Google? Shall I put that in Google Maps? See where it is.
Yeah, old Jaffa's part of Israel.
Got to be in it.
Yeah, let's have a look at the old. There's Lebanon, there's Israel, and there's Tel Aviv, Yaffo. Oh,
Tel Aviv.
Updated it. You know, like Slough is Slough upon Thames now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they've gone up market since then. Oh, okay.
I was going to get directions, but I don't think I will.
Jordan.
Tel Aviv. It's in.
Yeah, go to London Dungeon instead, or something like that.
Yeah, don't go to. You'll be supporting terrorism.
Quite like to visit St Albans at some time.
Oh fuck! I don't want to.
It's quite nice there.
I think it might be not something fun to do.
There you go. There's the Uri Geller Museum.
Yeah, cool.
Looks like a good place.
If you do go to London, I can recommend.
Oh shit! You can only go. You can only go there. Hold on. Is this? Oh, it's a sculpture. There's a sculpture of Uri Geller's spoon as well. Do you know the Uri Geller Museum? You can go by appointment only.
That makes sense.
Opens 12 p.m. Friday.
I'll tell you a place
opens
which
at 12
isn't.
p.m. Why does it open at 12 p.m. on Friday, Hobbit? Shouldn't it close at 12 p.m. on Friday?
It's closed on Saturday. But I'll tell you what.
Hobbit, what time does it close? What time does the museum close?
Well, I'd love to tell you, but my watch isn't working. So
I get you.
I tell you what place isn't appointment only. Novelty Automation, which is on. I
could do venue hire there as well.
18 Princeton Street, London. Novelty Automation.
It's info at Uri Geller Museum as well. The Uri Geller Museum is available for private hire. A unique venue with a wow factor, guaranteed to make every event special. Yeah, but drinking the soup's going to be a fucking nightmare, though, isn't
it? Yeah, it is. I thoroughly recommend Novelty Automation. By the way, it's quite distinctive. It's this whitewashed building called Tudor House, and it's a pretty small arcade, but. He's got another one on the pier somewhere, but I was in London at the time, so I thought I'd go and visit it. So yeah, good place.
Here's some pictures. Here's some pictures of all the happy people that have gone there.
Yeah,
he's got a page where he's with famous people. He's got a photo of him with David Blaine. David Blaine, levitator. It says.
What happened to David Blaine?
He went into an icebox and people pointing laser beams at him, and he's like, "They're bullying me."
I'm David Blaine. Do you remember David Blaine? You used to be on Bo Selector as well.
I like the bit where you just feel up their tits and then show them a card, and it's like, "Is that your card?"
Oh, Uri was in Daredevil as well, the Daredevil comic.
There he is on Blue. He's on Blue Peter.
Shazam!
Well.
Can you feel the magic's happening? Can you feel the magic? The magic's happening. Shazam!
City in danger and only one man can help. The most shocking guest star of all, the incomparable Uri Geller, is in Daredevil. He's actually got he's got the comic reprinted in there, back to front for some reason.
Yeah.
And the first page is at the bottom of the page.
Mm.
Ooh, scientific and
next
paranormal.
to novelty automation. Just the south of novelty automation. There's spoons. I could have gone there instead.
The CIA have rebutted the great James Randi Hobbit.
Have they now? That's interesting.
According to UriGeller.com.
Is that in St. Albans? Pendrell's Oak. Was it in Finchley? Pendrell's Oak, you say?
What's that?
No, Hobbit was just saying about Pendrell's Oak. Is that a boozer? That's a boozer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just south of Novelty Automation on Princeton Street.
Go then, Hobbit.
So in Hobbit,
you're gonna gloat. You're gonna gloat about the CIA attacking James Randi. Is he dead now?
What, James Randi or the CIA?
James Randi. The CIA will be dead soon if Bobby Kennedy's lad has anything to do with it.
You'll get shot in the head.
Oh, here's the thing. Stargate Collection responds to James Randi's book.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I thought you'd enjoy this one a bit. Go on then.
Right. So in this oh, hang on. Let me use the button that Hemi showed.
Actually, if you want to read the actual thing, the PDF's at the bottom.
Brave has this a feature called Speed Reader where it makes the screen black on white text on a black background.
Yeah, I like Speed Reader.
Stargate Collection. Hal Puthoff responds to James Randi's book, The Magic of Uri Geller. In this undated document,
are we going to call him Uri Geller from now on? Are we calling him Uri Geller from now on?
Uri, like urinary tract infection. The CIA Stargate Program Collection, Dr. Hal Puthoff presents a rebuttal of James Randi's book, The Magic of Uri Geller. It offers a fart sheet to correct the misconceptions and errors put forth by... Yeah, it's a sheet you fart into. In this undated document, we're going to do this bit where the first paragraph, we repeat it again.
Yeah.
James Randi, also known as the Amazing Randi, was a renowned magician, escape artist, and skeptic. Throughout his career, he took a strong stance against pseudoscience.
The CIA going to zap him with a heart attack gun? Yeah, there you go, you fucker. Have some heart attack gun.
Yeah.
Bang, and the Randy's gone.
Skeptic this bitch.
Yeah.
Paranormal Claims and Frauds. One of his most famous works is The Magic of Uri Geller, in which Randi criticised the alleged psychic abilities of Geller, an Israeli-British performer known for his spoon-bending demon.
Why is he Israeli-British? He literally doesn't have a British accent. He never has.
Well, it's like, you know when a mouse is born in the stables, it's the same as any other racehorse, right?
Yeah.
On the other hand, Dr. Hal Puthoff is an American physicist and parapsychologist.
He wasn't put off by James Randi, was he?
Well, again, it's that parapsychology. What is that? Who's been involved in various classified research programs, including the CIA Stargate program, not to be confused with the Stargate program, where ancient stone portals...
So the Stargate program's not to be confused with the Stargate program?
Yeah, the Stargate program where you use portals to travel from one place to another is different from the Stargate program where you use remote viewing to...
Oh, I'm glad they've cleared that one up.
He has a PhD... Yeah, he has a PhD in electrical engineering from Stanford University. How do you get a PhD in... So what's your dissertation in electrical engineering then? So in order to get a master's, you must have mastered all of the existing knowledge in that subject.
Yeah.
A PhD is where you write a dissertation in order to further human knowledge in an area. So how do you do that? Do you write my dissertation into the British plugs and why they're really good? But that's already existing. I want to know his dissertation anyway. The Stargate program was a top-secret CIA project that aimed to investigate and harness psychic phenomena for intelligence-gathering purposes. Launched in the 90s, which is not to be confused with the Stargate program, which was a top-secret US Air Force program.
Or the Stargate program that was on the telly in the 90s.
Which
was
was
the
for
early
plausible
2000s.
deniability. Hey, do you remember when the Stargate program had an episode about plausible deniability called Wormhole Extreme? And like the people in the Stargate program are watching this TV show and going like, "When this point back to us?" And the general's like, "No, leave it on. We can say it's plausible deniability." So anybody who talks about the Stargate program be like, "Oh, you've just watched a bit too much Wormhole Extreme."
Yeah.
So anyway, this Stargate program, not to be confused with that Stargate program or the other Stargate program, is one about using
or Wormhole
remote
Extreme.
viewing.
That Stargate program.
So it's intelligence gathering not by actually physically going to a site, but just using your imagination to see it.
Yeah.
Launched in the 70s, the program saw the potential remote viewing. We already said that bit. Although the program was officially terminated in 95, its legacy remains at the top of interest and intrigue. In this document available below, Dr. Puthoff meticulously addresses each of Randy's arguments against Geller's psychic abilities, providing counter-evidence and insights. The fact sheet claims to set the record straight and reveal the truth behind the claims and counterclaims that surround Uri Geller's abilities. There's a document archive and
how very fucking dare he question Uri Geller's abilities?
Here we go. And I can't use speed reader on this. Can I use it? It's a PDF, but can I invert the colours? Oh, that's better.
A PDF file.
Well, I use the invert this, so now I'm looking at a black background with white text. 1. Preface by Jeroff, Part XI. Geller convinced executives and researchers at the Stanford Research Institute that he could, among other things, distort solid metallic objects. Fart. SRI's position on Geller's putative metal bending ability is clearly stated in the researcher's Nature publication. It has been widely reported that Geller has demonstrated the ability to bend metal by paranormal means. Although metal bending by Geller has been observed in our laboratory...
Are they calling him a bender?
Yes. Yeah, he is. We have not been able to combine such observations with adequately controlled experiments to obtain data sufficient to support the paranormal hypotheses. Randy, page 7, few of Geller experiments, especially the famous test at SRI in which Geller performed apparent miracles of ESP, include in their reports the fact that one Shippy Strang, once claimed by Geller as his cousin and his brother, was present. Fart. During the SRI experimentation, neither Shippy nor any other potential Confederate was permitted in the target area. A precondition for the experimentation adopted on the basis of advice by project consulting magicians. Randy, page 9. You know what? I do remember something about somebody who got a master's degree in magic, but I can't remember his name. Anyway, Randy, page 9. But scientists are loath to consult magicians. Fact, an SRI, one of the two responsive educators, an amateur magician with 20 years' experience, a magician who specializes in exposing fraudulent poltergeist. Cases in a continuing consultant.
Fraudulent poltergeist? What do they do? Run up credit card charges while you're asleep?
Or they sort of like hide your socks in the basket. You put socks in the washing machine, odd socks come up.
Oh, are they the ones that put the red sock in your washing?
Yeah, and Milbourne Christopher, a world-renowned magician and critic of psychic phenomena, was brought in to critique videotape and film with the Geller work and suggest protocols for further experimentation.
Yeah, that's all bollocks that is. That's literally what they do. They just go, yeah, that's all bollocks that is. I could have done that easily. They don't have to prove that they could have done it easily, but they go, yeah, I could have done that easily.
Even while the Stanford Research Institute was involved in testing the Israeli wonder, I wrote offering up my... Hey, Randy, you didn't mention that...
That's a real subjective language. It's a real objective language there. The Israeli wonder.
You omitted the fact that he's British Israeli.
Yeah.
Fact, Randy's there to date September the 6th, 1973, was months after completion of the SRO work with Geller. Is this... Right, Randy, page 15. Then, too, there seems to be developing a public belief that science approves the trend towards parapsychological research, and that most people believe in psychic marvels, is a fact that the vast majority of scientists today have no interest nor belief in these things. Fact. According to a recent survey reported by Chris Evans, the New Scientist, PP209.
The zany TV presenter.
Who happens to write for New Scientist. Anyway, page 209, January 25th, 1973. So Evans. Christopher Evans was writing for New Scientist 1973. Parapsychology, what the questionnaire revealed. 67% of nearly 1,500 responding, the majority of whom are working scientists and technologists, considered ESP to be an established fact of a likely possibility. And that 88%, well, I could have told you this. My granddad was selected by the RAF for his ESP ability. He was working on the A Type 1 radar. They needed people with ESP to be able to tell what the screen was saying. And 88% held of... Because he told me, he says, imagine you got a 2D representation on your oscilloscope and it looks like a field of grass. And occasionally you'd see in the flicker a blade of grass that was bigger than the others. And sometimes it was smaller than the others. But you'd have to notice it going left to right. And I could see it going left to right, so they put me on the radar.
So you needed like a sixth sense for it, like a gut feeling then.
Well, you see, what's done now with that is you can do signal to noise ratio averaging, and the computers can do that very quickly, and then they'll be able to tell you what the signal is. But back then, you needed people with ESP abilities to look at a screen of fuzzy blades of grass.
So your granddad was literally like Dozer in the Matrix, then was? Is it Dozer? Who's the one who used to fly the spaceship, and they could, and all the fucking letters were coming down, and he could see exactly what was going on in the Matrix. Like he was like that. Then,
my granddad was able to see aircraft amongst the noise.
Yeah,
that's what you could do. So anyway, considered ESP to be an established fact or a likely possibility, and 80% held the investigation of ESP to be a legitimate scientific undertaking. I'd like to know what those 12% why they would say no. I'm interested in knowing their reasons why they're saying no. So anyway, there you go. Randy, page 34. Pete Huff reprinted the Nature article with a page and a half introduction, exclamation mark. Following paragraph implying editing out of material unfavourable to the paper. Fact. Reprint of the article to which Randy refers is the standard Nature reprint sent to authors. The so-called introduction Randy claims is deleted refers to an editorial at the front of the magazine several pages earlier. Nature reprints standardly do not carry editorials, letters to the editor, etc. Randy, page 39. After reprinting Nature editor, Randy claims that must be given his own version of SRA papers.
Randy's main problem is he's not a skeptic, he's a debunker, isn't he?
Randy
he starts with the hypothesis that it's all bollocks, doesn't he, and works his way backwards from there, doesn't he?
You know, reminds me
But also his name is sort of it also means someone who always wants to have sex as well.
There is that. Randy Dick. There's
just Randy, isn't it? Oh, I'm a bit Randy tonight, and then you go and name someone, go and call someone that.
Well, that's his surname, isn't it? In this case, it's his surname, not his first name.
One of the Jackson 5 was called Randy, wasn't he? One of the Jackson 5
that was the first name. Like, his name's James Randy, so Randy's actually.
And one of the Jackson 5 was Randy.
Randy Jackson.
Randy annoys me in the same way that this guy called Destiny does, where he just talks really quickly and he tries to bamboozle you with bullshit.
Yeah.
So anyway, fact. SRI paper to which he refers was in same magazine as the editorial he reprinted a few pages later. A document in the public domain, available in any technical library. Permission for the use of which is obtained from the magazine as was done for the editorial. Randy, page 42. There was no way I could get to see the SRA film. Only the elite of the world of science and journalism were invited to the Columbia Symposium.
Well, you ain't the elite of science in the world, then, are you, fucking debunking prick?
The Columbia Symposium was widely known to be an open symposium to which any interested individual could come and for which no invitations were required.
But it's typical of that though, isn't it? Because the level of proof you have to prove being paranormal is like sky high. Whereas the proof required to debunk it is like a way lower standard.
It's not even that. Randy's just a fucking liar.
Yeah.
Randy, page 43 and 44. Randy would have the reader believe that the compass sequence and spoon-bending sequence of the SRO film, Experience with Uri Geller, are examples of where SRA scientists were taken in by magic tricks. Fact. Yeah. With regard to the compass sequence, why is it's WhatsApp is it's a mate telling me about 3D modeling software. Okay. Fact. With regard to the compass sequence in the film narration states the following is an experiment which in retrospect we consider unsatisfactory as it didn't meet our protocol standards. Here is the task is to deflect the compass needle. However, according to our protocol, if we could in any way debunk the experiment and produce the effects by any other means, then that experiment was considered null and void, even if there were no indications that anything untoward happened. In this case, we found later that these types of deflections could be produced by a small piece of metal, so small in fact that they could not be detected by the magnetometer. Therefore, even though we had no evidence of this, we still consider the experiment inconclusive and an unsatisfactory type of experiment altogether. So, is them saying, yeah, we considered this experiment unsatisfactory, and therefore we just, it's not a good experiment. And then James Raney's like, oh, they were totally fell by it. These sounders smares me. Oh, sorry, there's still more on this. With regard to the spoon bending,
he is fucking insufferable, isn't he?
Well, he's like the destiny of his era. With regard to, I wonder if he was a cuckold as well and does meth. With regard to the spoon bending sequence, the film states one of Geller's main attributes is that he reported to us that he was able to bend metal. In the laboratory, we did not find him able to do so. It became clear in watching this film that simple photo interpretation is insufficient to determine whether the metal is bent by normal or paranormal means. It is not clear whether the spoon is being bent because he has extraordinarily strong fingers, or extraordinarily strong fingers, and good control of micro-manipulative movements, or whether, in fact, the spoon turns to plastic in his hands as he claims. Text of narration of the film Experiments with Uri Geller, shown at Columbia and elsewhere, text releases part of SRI...
Would it be actually possible, Hobbit, for them to somehow film X-ray, what he's doing with the spoon while he's doing it? Is that actually even possible?
If you're using X-rays and it's effective.
It is, but he won't let you do it. He'll only let you look at him do it from a certain angle and a certain distance.
Well, let's see what this experiment does.
Using his own spoon.
Because these experiments would have, been analysing it. Randy,
well,
page
I'm just
56.
thinking these were done in the 70s, so the technology wasn't there, was it, to do it properly?
Well, they had X-ray.
Still had X-ray though. You could have done X-ray if you wanted.
And they had thermal imaging as well. Randy, page 56. Shippy was there, according to Hanlon, constantly underfoot during the tests. Fact. Neither Shippey nor any other potential Confederate was permitted in the target area during the tests. Hanlon's allegations to the contrary were refuted in letters to the editor, New Scientist, page 443, November 1974. Randy, page 47 through 57.
So what we say then, the real charlatan here is James Randy.
Well, he's just making up a load of lies, and every time it's just like, well, look, here's how you lie, and here's documented evidence showing you're a fucking liar, you cunt. If you made an excuse to leave the room and could have gotten just one quick glance at Shippy's string, and he was trying to signal, a quick glance to his target may have given Shippy the impression of a horse. Such a response could result from a hand signal. This shape, which could have been transmitted by simple hand gestures by vertical clue, they may have even been watching Shippy by now, etc. Fact. As indicated above, neither Shippey nor any other potential Confederate was permitted in the target area, and Geller was never permitted to change his position.
I do like a good. I'll reiterate it again. More emphasis.
I.e., enter or leave experimental room while an experiment was in progress. Randy,
you like the thing of this is like, I told you he's not allowed in the fucking target area. That's basically the context of that comment, isn't it?
Randy, page 55. Captain Edgar Mitchell has said, I was there virtually all the time. I am a co-investigator in all that work, and they were so eager to help him, Geller. Around that, they worked themselves into a box by meeting his every whim. Fact. Captain Mitchell was not at SRI for any of the experimentation reported in Nature, but rather only during earlier efforts to find whether it was possible to
James Randy's source. I made it up, bro.
Source. I lie as I go along. He was there to introduce strict protocols, as was finally done successfully. Randy, page 57. Only in the test where there was no possibility of transmission of data from a Confederate did Geller refuse to try the test or just fail it. Referring to experiments 5 to 7. Fact. 2 of the 3 experiments, 6 and 7, were carried out under the same conditions as all the others. No potential Confederate in the target area. The 3rd experiment, experiment 5, was
wasn't in the fucking target area. That's basically what they want to say, don't they?
Yeah, it's like experiment 5 was.
You just want to do the Samuel L. Jackson thing. Say he was in the target area once more. I dare you. I fucking double dare you to say it.
So, experiment 5 was a special clairvoyance experiment, again with no potential Confederate in the target area. I think we're establishing a pattern here, aren't we?
He wasn't in the fucking target area, all right, Randy, you cunt.
Can you guess what he's going to say next? Can you guess it?
Can you tell what he's going to say, mate?
Randy, page 58, with regard to the Faraday cage experiments, he could even reach his arm out of the cage. One is to prevent Shippey from signaling these 3 together.
He wasn't in the fucking target area.
Fact. The Faraday cage is entirely sealed and guarded. Only by opening the door can one reach out. With regard to Shippey, acting as Confederate signal together, again, as in all experiments, neither Shippey nor any other potential Confederate was permitted into the target area, or you of the target, you fucking dickhead. A precaution insisted upon and followed as a result of advice from consulting magicians.
He wasn't in the fucking target area.
Randy, I know you keep thinking if you say this lie, we'll believe you, but you're full of shit. Randy, page 63. And is it not curious that this Geller test series was never reprinted or mentioned by any of his SRA disciples?
And he was in the target area.
Parentheses referring to the 100 envelope double blind clairvoyance test that Geller failed. Close parentheses. Fact. This test, with its negative results, is also in the Nature paper. 4th paragraph from the end of the section on Geller. Randy, page 73. Agreed to examine Geller's claims with the arrangement that if the results were not positive, no repair be issued. Did Geller have the same arrangements with the boys at SRA before he agreed to be tested there? I'll bet he did. How much you willing to bet there? $1 million? Fact. Negative results on compass deflection and metal bending are reported in the SRO film Experience with Uri Geller. Columbia Physics Colloquium, March the 6th, 1973. And negative results in metal bending and the 100 envelope clairvoyance test are reported in Nature, October 1974. Randy, page 107.
They missed their mantra, didn't they? And he wasn't in the target area.
I know, because Randy wasn't referring to Shippey or some other made-up bullshit. Randy, page 107. Now SRA, in its great wisdom, has called in a magician briefly as a consultant, not before Geller's test, mind you, but after. With them, the alarm system is installed after the robbery. It is interesting to note that when Geller did a subsequent series of tests there, page 62, he failed any connection. Fact. SRI called in a magician as a consultant before, underlined, before any of the tests with Geller, not after.
Yeah, but he was still in the target area though, weren't he?
Brackets, a magician who specialises in exposing poltergeist cases as frauds. If Randy is referring only to the Milbourne Christopher, if Randy is referring only to Milbourne Christopher, no tests, including those on page 62, were done after Christopher's consultancy.
I'm just waiting for Randy to go, yeah, but he wasn't as good a magician as I am, or something like that.
All work with Geller having been completed before Christopher's arrival. Randy, page 125. And the SRA public renovations man, parentheses, who has since quit the organization, parentheses, called Wilhelm of Time to see what can be done about the story. I think that means to say called well ahead of time, but it says Wilhelm of Time, like the German name Wilhelm.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Randy was just that fucking mad. He was spitting out random words.
Maybe the meth was getting to him at that point. Fact. SRI's public relations man, Ron
Like
Deutsch,
that time Destiny made a turkey noise. Have you ever heard that one?
I try not to listen to him.
Destiny gets so fucking methed up, he just goes like while he's talking.
Yeah, I could well imagine that. I try not to listen to him because I find him really irritating.
He's insufferable.
Fact, SRI's public relations man, Ron Deutsch, so not Wilhelm of Time, Ron Deutsch, did not quit the organisation over this or any other issue.
Of course he did.
And is still there.
Oh, for fuck's sake. He hasn't even let fucking hell, James Randi, we don't appreciate you. That needs to be an episode. I think that needs to be an episode now.
I would really be happy to do that episode, actually. Hey, Ian, are you up for some Randy bashing?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, this could be
let's do it.
This could be a good laugh. Randy bashing.
To be fair, you'd have to find a few more articles this well written though about it.
Oh yeah. God, it's so good in there. I mean, 19 Ray Hyman quoted by Randy, page 143. So I asked them. Hang on. This is Ray Hyman being quoted. Yeah. So I asked them, Putoff and Targ.
Hold on. What are you saying, Ian?
Oh no, it's just Randy and Hyman.
Yeah. No, this is Ray Hyman. Ray Hyman being quoted by Randy. If he could bend them without touching them, brackets metal rings, they told me he could do it either way. I asked Puthoff if he or anyone else at SRI had seen Uri do it without touching the ring. They never did answer me. They simply assured me that he could do it either way. Fact. The above is false reporting. It is well known that Puthoff...
What, from James Randi? I don't think so. I mean, the man's just a paragon of virtue, isn't he?
I know. It's just... it's well known that Puthoff and Targ of SRI have been agnostic on the subject of metal bending since the beginning, and reported thus both in the SRI film and in the Nature paper.
Well, they even kind of do that in Late Night with the Devil, don't they? It's like they're like, for fuck's sake, Randy, the girl was lifted into the fucking air. What are you talking about?
Oh. Don't they? Ian, have you seen Late Night with the Devil? It's a good
I've been
film.
to see it. It is good. Yeah, I've seen the trailer.
You should watch it.
In my street,
because there's a guy there who they literally based on James Randi.
Yeah, it is James, right? So, all right. So anyway, Randy, page 157. First of all, Taylor's statement about the magician is not true. Where he got the idea, I cannot tell. There was no magician present. Fact. Taylor's statement is true. He got it from the SRI researchers. A magician was present.
I just wanted to put something in there like James Randi's a big fat stinky liar. I just wanted to put something like that in there.
Randy, page 173. You might recall, Professor. Oh, I could just tell the smug through the print. You might recall, Professor, that your counterparts in America, Targ and Puthoff, obtained single-sided pulses when Uri tried to hex a sensitive whaling device. And no one thought to try testing the chart recorder there either. Fact, as is apparent from the SRI film, A, the chart recorder was remote from Geller in the experiment, and B, the chart recorder was continuously monitored by film and videotape, specifically as a guard against chicanery.
And there was nobody in the target area.
Well, yeah, Randy. I think Randy's dropped that bit now. Randy, page 189. And finally, as if that were not enough doubts about the procedure used to conduct this so-called test, I put quotation marks around test, Times Wilhelm has reported that the set of tries with the die actually consisted of many hundreds of rows, the object being together running consecutive winds. Fact. There was no selection of a good run out of hundreds of throws. There were 10 throws only, as reported in the Nature paper, 8 of which were correctly guessed by Geller, 2 of which were passed. All of the throws were reported. Randy, page 106 to 90. An elaborate hypothesis is provided as to how Geller may handle the dice box and cheated. Fact. Film and videotape show otherwise, and magicians examining this material have failed to detect a conjuring trick. That doesn't mean that there isn't a conjuring trick. It just means that the conjuring trick was failed to think. So James Randy is right about everything. Case closed. Randy, page 204. Harrigan Puthoff say in a letter to Communication Society magazine that in a lengthy consultation with professional magicians, no viable conjuring explanation for these or other experiments reported in Nature has emerged. What magicians? If these gentlemen have examined this book carefully, they now have another conclusion. Fact. Having examined this book carefully, we find that in every instance, Randy, in his efforts to fault the SRI experiment, was driven to hypothesize the existence of a loophole condition that did not in fact exist.
They've just called him a bullshitter, haven't they?
If Randy believes that the conditions he hypothesized were responsible for the results of those SRI experiments, with Geller that was successful, then by their negation, Randy has proved further evidence for the geniuses of the phenomena, for the genuineness of the phenomena as observed and reported. So yeah, that was pretty interesting 8-page PDF. I'm glad we read that, especially with Randy getting increasingly more irate.
You just imagine him getting more and more Cartman, can't you, as he goes along?
Yeah.
I'm just imagining him more and more like, who's that guy that is incredibly small? Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
I just imagine him being like Ben Shapiro and being all squirrely.
Just imagine Randy going, ma'am, they're in the target area, ma'am.
Ma'am, the target area, ma'am. He did give me Big Destiny vibes doing that stuff.
Yeah.
As the youth would say.
As the youths would say. There we go. So James Randy. To be fair, we've come out of this with like a plethora of episodes we can have a go at, haven't we?
Well, that's the great thing about Fortean words. Some questions get answered, most don't, and there's plenty more new questions afterwards. And that's why you'll have to join us next week for another Fortean words.
Well, we might do.
Oh, and by the way,
might do getting James Randy debunked. I think that's what we should call the episode.
I will acknowledge this to people. The Woodwoses stole T. Lawrence from us.
Yeah, we will get back.
We're going to use.
I still can't find that.
We're going to use
magazine though. That's really pissing.
We're going to use remote viewing to get back to the subject of T. Lawrence because I'm interested to know about his career being a motorcycle test pilot for Bruff Superior amongst other companies.
Right. So are we done?
Yeah, well, that's good night from him. And it's good night from our
us.
special guest, Ian.
Stay spookly.
Yeah.
Woo.
Stay spooky, woo. And don't be James Randi.
And if you are going to be James Randi, don't talk about the target area.
Because you were wrong. They weren't in the target area.
You are wrong so many times.